The mighty Roman Empire, a beacon of civilization for centuries, trembled before a new enemy. These were not the organized legions of a rival empire. These were the Goths, fierce warriors from beyond the imperial frontiers. Their relentless advance would shake Rome to its core. The Gothic Wars, a brutal clash of civilizations, would leave an indelible mark on history. Rome's power, once thought unbreakable, would crumble under the weight of these barbarian invasions. The Goths, originally from Scandinavia, were a Germanic people. They migrated southwards, drawn by the wealth and allure of the Roman world. Their warrior culture, honed in the harsh landscapes of northern Europe, made them formidable opponents. Armed with swords, axes, and an unyielding spirit, they posed a new kind of threat to the Roman Empire. This was not simply a border raid, it was the beginning of a clash of civilizations. The Roman Empire of the 3rd century AD was a far cry from its glorious past. Internal strife and economic instability had weakened its foundations. A rapid succession of emperors, often claiming power through military force, left the empire vulnerable. This period, known as the crisis of the 3rd century, was a time of chaos and uncertainty. The empire, once a symbol of unity and strength, was now teetering on the brink. Economic woes plagued the empire. Inflation soared, devaluing the currency and eroding the prosperity of its citizens. The once efficient bureaucracy became riddled with corruption. The legions, once the pride of Rome, suffered from declining morale and loyalty. This internal turmoil created an opportunity for external forces like the Goths to exploit the empire's weakness. The stage was set for a confrontation that would change the course of history. The initial contact between the Goths and the Romans was marked by both conflict and uneasy coexistence. The Goths, seeking new lands and opportunities, began to test the Roman frontiers. Their raids, initially small-scale, gradually escalated into larger incursions. The Romans, preoccupied with internal problems, struggled to contain these aggressive newcomers. The Goths, skilled in both land and sea warfare, proved to be a constant nuisance. They raided Roman settlements, carrying off loot and captives. Their swift raids, often using small boats to navigate rivers and coastlines, made them difficult to intercept. The Roman response, hampered by the empire's internal woes, was often slow and ineffective. The Goths, emboldened by their successes, grew bolder in their ambitions. The stage was set for a more significant confrontation. The nature of the Gothic threat evolved over time. Initially content with raiding, they began to desire land within the empire. The Visigoths, a particularly powerful Gothic group, led the charge. They sought not just to plunder, but to settle within the empire's borders. This shift from raiders to settlers presented a new challenge to Roman authority. The Romans, facing pressure on multiple fronts, were forced to make concessions. They allowed some Visigoths to settle south of the Danube River, hoping to create a buffer zone against other barbarian groups. However, this policy proved disastrous. The Visigoths, once within the empire, began to exert their influence. They clashed with Roman officials demanding better treatment and autonomy. The fragile peace was shattered, leading to open conflict. The Battle of Adrianople in 378 AD stands as a pivotal moment in Roman history. It was a clash between the might of Rome and the raw fury of the Visigoths. The Roman army, led by Emperor Valens himself, was confident of victory. They vastly underestimated the Visigothic forces, both in number and in skill. What followed was a massacre that sent shockwaves through the empire. The Visigothic cavalry, superior in both tactics and ferocity, outmaneuvered the Roman legions. They surrounded the Roman army, raining down arrows and javelins upon the trapped soldiers. The Roman formations, once disciplined and unbreakable, dissolved into chaos. Emperor Valens, caught in the melee, was killed. His death, a symbolic blow, marked the beginning of the end for Roman dominance. Adrianople was not just a military defeat, it was a psychological blow that shattered the aura of Roman invincibility.